What's up? My name is Bree, and I'm here today to talk about the Ace family. This is a topic that I've been following for many years now, since the first scam that they committed, and I have seen every little thing along the way. So I wanted to come on here today, and I want to talk about all of the scams that they have done, some other controversies that they have gone through, and then get to the present so that we can talk about some of the things that they have been posting these last couple weeks. There has been an announcement from Catherine that she is getting a divorce from Austin, and there have been some other posts from Austin that are kind of weird. So let's go over a little bit of how they started, what they did to become famous, some of the things they've been outed for in the public, and we'll go from there. If you like what you see and you'd like to support a small creator, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm mostly doing commentary videos, but I also go live and stream video games, so that's another thing I do on here. I may also make videos in the future about TV or movies, so if you like any of those things, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much! In case you've never heard of them, the Ace Family is a family vlogging channel here on YouTube that consists of Austin McBroom, his wife Catherine Paiz, and their 3 children. They've been accused of many different things and had many controversies over the years. That makes it so most of the views that they get is likely just people that don't like them and want to see what scam they've done next. So it's either that or children. They don't really have a genuine audience, and so over the years it has been shown that the mask has finally fallen and they're not really as rich as they say. They try to perpetuate that they are very rich, living in multi-million mansions in Hollywood and like all that fancy schmancy stuff. But in reality, that is not the life they're leading. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into some of the scams that they have perpetuated over the few years they've been on YouTube and where that has gotten them today. Let's get started. So here's how we're going to do it. I have made a list of all of the scams they've been a part of, and I'm pretty sure that they are in chronological order. And then at the end, I'm going to go over and just read a list of a few of the other little controversies they've had here and there. Some of them aren't little, it's just that I wanted to focus mostly on the scams where they like either stole money or didn't pay people. And at the end, I'm just going to list anything else that was kind of major and a controversy that they had, but isn't considered a scam. And I also wanted to mention that this is very hard to research. If you're trying to look into some of these older things that they've done, for whatever reason, the internet is scrubbed of some of these things. I don't know if like Austin paid someone to like scrub the internet of some of these things, but it's very hard to look into. So I want to thank Cruel World Happy Mind and H3 Podcast for having talked about some of these things and still having them up. Without these videos that I was able to watch from when they happened, when these things came out in the public, I wouldn't have been able to get the details. I remembered a lot of the stuff happening. I remembered like the very basics of the situation, but the details were lost to time and I had a really hard time finding them. So again, thanks so much for keeping these things up, because a lot of the other stuff, the main things that were posted, are very hard to find. It's really almost impossible to find some of these details without watching these videos, so thanks so much. So this first scam is actually the reason I ever even heard of the Ace family. I'm not into family vloggers at all. I think it's sometimes quite unethical, so this is something that I would have never heard of otherwise. But when they did a basketball game, they had promised to donate $100,000 to charity plus any profits from the event. And when they ended up donating after the event was all said and done, they only donated $75,000 instead of $100K. And a lot of people were upset because they had promised at least $100,000, if not more, from the profits, and they donated less than the main number they'd even given. So that was the first inkling that fans were starting to get upset and a little turned off by the idea that maybe Austin and Catherine aren't so ethical, and that maybe they're trying to scam people and make money for themselves at any means necessary and not really caring if they're hurting anyone or not, especially their fans. They seem to very often disregard how their fans actually feel about what they're doing. Now this next one is not a scam per se, because they weren't scamming their audience, but they did scam another creator who was a lot smaller than them. They had millions of people following them by this point, and they scammed from someone who was in the thousands. This was so wrong. I remember hearing about this when it happened. So Austin contacted this man that went by Urban Trademark 7. This man was doing headbands. He had these really cool like headband designs, and he was selling them out of a van. And Austin contacted him to do a collaboration with these headbands. But later, he like ghosted and never really contacted Urban Trademark 7 again. And shortly after he ghosted him, he had started selling headbands that looked almost identical to the ones that Urban Trademark was using from a van, just like he was. He gave him no credit. He gave him no money for the things that he sold. He did not give him anything. And for some reason, out of all of these different scams that I looked into, this one is the hardest to find anything about. I don't know if maybe it's just because it was not considered as important as some of these other major money scams that he did, but I could not find the original video for the life of me. That's the reason I actually had to go on the H3 podcast videos, is because this specific one, I could not find the original video of Urban Trademark posting about it. I knew it existed, but I was searching everything I could think of trying to find it, and I couldn't find it anywhere in its original form. It was only going to H3 Podcast and watching them react to it that I could even watch the original video myself. It feels to me like Austin has paid some kind of company to go through and like scrub and take down things that make them look bad, because for some reason on Google it was really, really hard to find some of these things, and I had to search very, very specifically to even get certain details of these different situations. So I really do think that they have done some covering up of these bad things they've done to try to make it look better when they go on to their next business venture. For this next one, I actually combined two things into one because they happened around the same time and they're quite similar. So one is the Ace Family app and the other is the Ace Club. So for the Ace Family app, they promoted on their YouTube channel a special app that's just for them. If you download it, you can watch special videos that will only be on the app. They won't be posting them to YouTube. So if you want to see them, you have to go to the app. But what they didn't disclose is that you actually have to pay $2.99 for this per month to be able to see these videos, and if you don't pay it, you can't see them. So they didn't disclose that in their video, and that actually really upset their audience, who was asking, well, why didn't you tell us that? You should say that in the video so that we know we have to pay for it. And I think that they did it because it inflates the numbers on the App Store to make it seem like it's more popular than it is, get them in the listings of like top apps on the stores, and they don't really care if it hurts the feelings of their fans. So when they got the backlash from this, they actually came out and started poor shaming their child audience, saying stuff like, only real Ace Family fans will pay for the $2.99 and get it. You're not a real fan if you don't. And stuff like that. Basically just shaming these children if they can't afford to pay them monthly to see these stupid special videos. As for the Ace Club, this was a website where you could go buy merch from them. And for whatever reason, whenever they have something on the technological side, it just does not work right. Whether it's just they don't prepare for as much traffic as what's going to be on the website when they first launch it, or if they're just like not paying enough money to people to make sure the product works, or they're not giving it enough time to be ready and they release it early, like on a crunch. One of those things has to be happening, because every single time they launch something online, it just doesn't work right. So people were trying to buy the merch and the website was not working right. Eventually they did fix that, and then people were buying things, but they were waiting so long to get them. They were waiting months and months and months to get these things, and then a lot of people claimed they never got their items at all. And both of these situations pretty much ended the same. They deleted the website, they deleted the app, and then they refunded people, I guess. I mean, they claimed they did. It's very hard to look into these things because, especially at this time, they're just much older now. And so I don't know if they actually did refund people, but they claimed they did. And they also claimed that they were scammed by whoever helped them put these things together. This is the first time they claim to be scammed by someone that they actually scammed. They like to pretend that they're the victims of a scamming instead of being the perpetrators of a scam, to try to cover up the fact that they're doing these things that are so wrong. We'll see that again later, and we'll talk about it more. The next scam we're going to talk about is an influencer course that Austin decided to make. Again, with the technical stuff not working, he made a website and an Instagram, I believe, for this How I Became a Millionaire course that he was selling. Now, what he was supposed to do is it was supposed to be uploaded on a timeline, different things that he was supposed to upload like once a week or something, like a specific day he was supposed to upload these videos of how to become a millionaire. And it was $50 a month for this service. You can't watch most of the videos unless you pay that $50 a month. That's a total of $600 a year. He was supposed to release 48 videos over the year, and that would have been for the $600. But he only ever posted a couple videos, like 2 or 3 max. This website stopped working almost instantly, and he actually cut off new subscriptions. So he got a decent amount of people to sign up for it, but then he cut off so that nobody else could join it. And then the people that were already on there, they didn't get anything. Like, they hardly got the content. And again, some of these things are so hard to research. I could not find out if people got refunded or not. I know Drew Gooden was one of the people who actually joined onto this and looked into it in depth. Thank you to him as well, because I had to watch his video to find out more about this. When I searched how I became a millionaire, Austin McBroom, almost nothing comes up. I tried so hard to find more info about this, but it seems like, again, he has scrubbed the internet of this. You cannot find any more info about it, and I don't know why it's so hard, but he's done a very, very good job of trying to hide his scamming past. We all still know he's a scammer, but he's good at hiding it so that newer people have a harder time finding out about it. That's what it is. And we're back for part 2 with another basketball scam. When researching this, I didn't even know it was 2 separate basketball scams. I thought it was all one situation, but no. They had another basketball scam. And I'm guessing that they did a second one because they must have made some kind of money from the first one, right? If they didn't make money on that first time that they did it, they wouldn't have done it a second time. So that there proves they probably did make some kind of profit the first time. But for this time, they uploaded to the YouTube channel basically an open call to their fans saying, hey, if you come to this thing, you can compete to win $100,000. And they made it seem like it was going to be mostly fans that were playing this game. But they also said, you know, you can tag your favorite creators in the comments if you want to see them compete. They also said that it's not mandatory to donate this money to charity, but they would appreciate it if whoever wins would donate at least 50% of that $100K to charity. And that's the first loophole right there. Like, as soon as people saw that, there was a lot of the people that were already skeptical of them knew that it was going to end badly, and it did, because when it actually got to the time for this game to go on, it was mostly famous YouTubers who were shooting. Like, they got a bunch of famous YouTubers, and they showed like a lot of clips of them not making these shots, right? And then later on, Austin brings up his personal friend, who is a basketball player, because Austin used to be a basketball player as well before he started the family vlogging stuff. He brings his friend up who shoots does the game, he shoots the shots, and he wins. And he starts being like, oh, so excited. Like, he said, I'm going to use this to, like, pay off my house or something. Like, he's talking about what he's going to use it for in his personal life. And then at the end, oh yeah, and I'm totally going to donate to charity and donate to the homeless, like it's an afterthought. And even during this event, Austin admits that he's not part of the competition. He's like, he's not even supposed to be part of the competition, but this is my boy, you know? Like, he admitted this guy should not have even been able to take a shot. And people had bought tickets to this event and gone to the event thinking they had a chance to win this $100K. Not a single fan ever got to shoot a hoop for this competition. And so it was pretty messed up for him to give away $100,000 to his friend. Like, at that point, it seems rigged, like they never were going to give money away to begin with. Like, and if they did give the money away, it's just him giving his friend money. It has nothing to do with the competition because he wasn't even supposed to be a part of it. So that was a really big controversy when that first came out, where people were like, so this was rigged from the start then? Is that what you're saying? You never intended to ever give anything to a fan? That's pretty messed up, man. So the next big scam we're going to talk about is probably the scam that Austin is the most well known for. He saw that these Paul brothers were doing these boxing events and that they were making quite a bit of money from it, so he decided to put one on himself. He did a TikTokers versus YouTubers boxing event with Austin being the main headliner against Bryce Hall. And what he didn't tell the public is that he actually owned the production company that was putting on this event. So when he won his fight against Bryce, people started talking and they looked into it and find out that he is the owner. So what, is he supposed to pay himself $1 million that just seems weird. It seems fishy. It also seems kind of like staged, like maybe they were always going to have him win because he's got such a big ego, he has to feel like he's winning everything, right? I feel like that would be something he would do. But then after all of this stuff came out that he was the owner, a few weeks after the event, all of the people that worked on this event started coming out of the woodworks to tell the public that they have not been paid. This is workers of the event, announcers, the fighters, the TikTokers, and the YouTubers themselves. Bryce Hall was owed $5 million for fighting, and he never got that money. I'm pretty sure to this day he has still not gotten that money. It led to a ton of lawsuits. I don't think any of them have actually gone fully through the court system yet, but he still owes a lot of people a lot of money. And it also came out shortly after that this event did not make any money, and that's the reason why he couldn't pay people. He actually lost $10 million by putting this event on. It did that poorly. So I don't know if maybe that's the reason that leads into some of the next things that we're going to be talking about, but it's definitely really, really crazy how much money he actually lost. I'm pretty sure that he was going to file for bankruptcy. I think that's what was said in a clip, that he was going to file for bankruptcy because he could not afford to pay anybody. It's just wild. How are you going to put on an event and then not be able to pay anybody? That is such a crazy thing to do. Did he really think he was going to make $10 million to pay the people and then actually also make a profit as well? I feel like, again, Austin ends up being the only person out of everyone who gets paid. It's just so wild. It's so crazy that he has gotten away with this for so long. This next situation is not a scam, again, like they weren't scamming anybody, but it's another thing that I want to talk about because it shows the pattern of them accusing others of scamming them when they are the scammers. So they bought 2 different mansions somewhere in California, and they actually combined them into one gigantic mega mansion. Now, this whole situation was so weird because they weren't really talking about it much on social media, but suddenly people were talking about the fact that their house was up for sale on Zillow and they were being legally foreclosed on by the bank. Like, you can look up online to see these things that a house is in foreclosure. So someone looked it up and saw it was in foreclosure and it started spreading around like wildfire on social media. They were denying it left and right. Austin and Catherine were saying, no one's getting kicked out, no one's getting foreclosed on, that's not happening, no one's moving. Just total lies, because they absolutely were being foreclosed on. And here's what happened. So the main reason that they were foreclosed on is because they weren't making tax payments as well as their mortgage payments. They were behind by about $65,000, and the landlord of the place they were staying actually sued them for this money. But technically, they were never actually supposed to move into this house to begin with. They made a video and claimed that the contractor and architect scammed them and that they had no right to be working as a contractor because they were using someone else's license. Now, that stuff was not true. It was proven to be false. They just like to point fingers at everyone else when they are the reason why things went wrong. So they weren't even supposed to be in this house because they never got their certificate of occupancy. That means that there was no heat or gas in the house, and that also means no hot water. They moved into this house without having that certificate, meaning they legally weren't even supposed to be there. They were technically squatting in this house. They even admitted that because that they had no heat, their house was freezing through their first winter in the house, and that they had all these little space heaters around. Very dangerous. If you don't know, having a lot of those, it can be extremely dangerous. It can start a fire, it can start an electrical fire. Like, there's so many hazards with that. But not only that, they had their kids in this house with no heat. They did not have hot water. So they were she admitted in the video, Catherine admitted, they were giving their children cold baths because they had no heat. And then they're sitting there and they're blaming the contractor when in reality, there is no reason for him to have ever wanted to keep an occupancy, the occupancy certificate from them. They would only do it if there's something wrong that prevents them from being able to legally give it to them. So I'm guessing that, and this is based on some of the stuff I saw in the H3 video again, that I talked about at the beginning. He spoke with someone who knows about the laws on the show a while back, and they talked about the fact that there's just no reason they would not give it to her. Likely, there was something wrong with the house, like maybe the house wasn't fully finished yet, and they weren't supposed to be living there yet. And likely what they did tell this contractor is that we're not going to live here. We just want to film in the house. We just want to be able to go into the house and to be able to film things, and then we'll leave and we won't stay there. But they lied because they were staying there. So eventually, after all of this stuff came out, they were evicted and the house was sold to some famous twins or something. They no longer live in that house, but the way that they reacted to that stuff, just pointing the fingers at everyone else, they constantly do that. They're always pointing the blame to someone else when it lies solely on themselves. The final scam I want to talk about is the most recent one. When the platform Kick first was out, it was relatively new, and they decided they wanted to start live streaming over there. So what they did was they said that they were going to be getting Catherine a new vehicle, and so they were going to give away her Tesla Model X to a random fan. All you had to do to enter was to go to their Kick page, follow them, and then tag 2 people in the comments of the original post that they would have seen on social media. And then you would be entered for the random giveaway. When they were supposed to announce it on their first Kick live stream who won, they never actually did announce who it was. It turned out that instead of it being a random giveaway where they put all of the names of the people who entered and it randomly selects one, they handpicked their winner. They said they handpicked the first person who ever bought Ace Family merch to win the car. But it turned out this person is actually friends with them now. They are actually good friends with this person. So another time where they're doing some big giveaway, and instead of doing it the way that they say they're going to, they break their own rules and they just choose who they want to win. So technically these giveaways are false because no person that's entered has actually ever had a chance to win. They're hand-picking who wins. It's always their friend. So that's like the biggest sign of a scam, is like you're not even letting anyone have a chance to win. It's so crazy how often they're doing these scams where they just get to pick the winner and they think it's okay. They really think they're not doing anything wrong by doing that. It's so crazy to me that they think that's okay. So that's all the scams I wanted to go over, but I also want to talk about a few of the other smaller controversies that they've had. These are not in any specific like chronological order or order of importance. It's just a list of other things that they have had controversy over in the past few years that aren't actually a scam but are kind of like just crappy in general. So the first one is that the very first thing I heard about this shortly after when I first heard about them. I had heard about the basketball scam. Shortly after, I heard about this one. He went with, I think his niece. Austin took his niece into a Spencer's and he let her pick up a penis-shaped lollipop. And she was like talking about wanting it, and he's laughing, he's filming it. He ended up buying it for her and giving it to her in public and just very much sexualized this child. She was probably like 6 or 7, maybe even like 5. She was quite young. So that was something that should have never happened. And that he thought that was so funny. So funny. In reality, he was perpetuating very disgusting things, and people were saving that video. Guarantee you, some creeps out there saved that video of her licking that, and that's disgusting that he would perpetuate that. Another thing that he did, this has happened so many times, and I'm glad that they're actually getting a divorce now, because there have been so many times where there's allegations that come out about Austin cheating on Catherine. And you're supposed to be some wholesome family channel. You're cheating on your wife constantly. That's so crazy to me that they could try to perpetuate family goals, wife goals. You're cheating on your wife. You obviously don't care about her. And then the next thing is stealing ideas for Catherine's skincare brand. She apparently stole a bunch of ideas from a good friend of hers for her skincare brand, which also is now defunct. They also deleted that, and also there was tons of problems on the technical side when she launched it. Same story, different day, isn't it? They cannot get their stuff together. And then the last thing is just, in general, treating their fans poorly. Like, the way that they react to their fans and things that their fans post. Like, people that are genuinely fans of them, mostly children, and they say some really weird stuff to them sometimes. And then in general, just the constant lying from them. You can't believe a word they say because they just tell so many lies upon lies upon lies. So they're just really not good people to follow online, and I'm glad that this is finally showing through that they are not wholesome. They are not good people. They scam people for a living. That is their job, to scam people online, and that they need to be disrespected because nobody should respect them for those things, especially when he has done so many things wrong. So we finally made it to present day, and we can talk about the things that have been happening in these last couple weeks. So on January 12th of this year, just a couple weeks ago now, Catherine announced online that her and Austin have come to the decision together. They stressed that it was a decision that they made together, that it was both of them came to this conclusion that it's irreconcilable and that they should get a divorce. Pause to read if you want to read the whole thing. Both of their posts talk about how they have decided that they're still going to be a team when it comes to the kids, but that they just are not going to be together in a relationship anymore, but that they are still best friends. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't believe this. Based on some of the things that Austin has been posting, I don't think he's doing so well mentally, and I don't think he's handling this well. I'm of the opinion that Catherine is the one who decided to leave him and to save face. They're pretending it's a mutual decision, but I really don't feel like that's the case, and we'll talk about why. Austin at first made it seem like he was going to move into his own place in the same town as Catherine, but instead of that, he's done the weirdo thing, and he bought an RV. He put a bunch of money into it, getting like a TV, a microwave, a refrigerator. Like he put a bunch of money to like spruce up the inside of this RV, and he is now living outside of Catherine's house. He is living in this RV and parking it on the street in the neighborhood where Catherine lives with the kids. This must be so confusing for these children. My mommy and daddy aren't together anymore, but daddy's living in a RV outside, parked outside of our house all the time. That is such a weird thing to do. That is such weird behavior. I feel so bad for these kids. They must be so confused. And if I were Catherine, I would be a little concerned. This does not seem like normal behavior. When a separation happens, you're supposed to just find yourself a new place, like a house, like an apartment, like a place that's in the ground, not a portable RV so that you can park right outside of your ex-wife's house. That's so crazy. That is such a weird thing to do. Because of this being such a weird situation, there are actually people that consider that maybe this is all fake. And I'm not sure 100% how I feel about this situation yet, whether it's fake or not, but I'm going to tell you, it being fake, there is a good argument for it. So, Austin and Catherine in the past have talked about wanting to buy an RV and traveling the world and seeing the world with their family. They could live in it, and then they wouldn't have to have an actual place to live. That doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. That they've come out, they've announced a divorce, suddenly all eyes are on them about this situation to see what happens. And now they have an RV, which they've talked about more than once wanting to get. That seems planned. It really seems to me like this could be fake, especially if you look at these pictures side by side. These were both posted recently by Austin and Catherine, and they're in the same room. Look at the wall behind them. You can tell that this is the exact same room. Why are they posting these things and then pretending they are getting divorced? If it hasn't been put through the court system yet that they're getting a divorce and they're still in the same house, like, what is going on here? Are they really faking it? Because it seems like they very well could be. Now, it could be like a guest bedroom in Catherine's house, but we really have no way of knowing. If they're both posting this on the same day, and it's the same room, you can tell by the wall, it's the same room. So, are they just lying about not being in the same places anymore? Because that seems like it could be true, that they're still together and they're just pretending to get a divorce to make some money. That is totally something they would do. They have definitely clickbaited other crap like that before, like important stuff that they should not be clickbaiting. They have definitely done it before. I would not put it past them that they would do this again. One of the most recent updates that came out from Austin is that he woke up in the morning and exited his RV to find a ticket on the windshield. It was from the neighborhood watch, and it said that he was not allowed to park there because he is not a resident. He was like getting all mad saying like, I used to be a resident, I should be able to park here. And my guess is that if this is real, if he really got a ticket and it's not just like a fabrication like everything else seems to be, that he doesn't have Catherine's permission to park there. Like, she either called or the neighborhood watch just noticed that he was there and they know he's not a resident anymore. But now he has gotten permission from Catherine's neighbor to park in front of his house. So him having permission means he shouldn't be getting tickets anymore, right? He should be able to legally park in front of his house and like kind of stalk his family still. I think this whole thing is so weird. I just, it's not healthy behavior during a separation and divorce to get an RV and try to live outside of the house where you're no longer welcome. I just think that's so strange. And another weird situation has come out during all of this, that this stuff started shortly before they announced their divorce, but it's still ongoing and was ongoing after the announcement as well. So let's get into that. This is one of the most concerning ones I've seen from him lately. So Austin has been exposed recently for mass texting people with the same opening line. What he's doing is he's mass messaging OnlyFans models, particularly women, and basically saying the same thing like, hey, sorry to slide into the DMs, but, you know, do you have an agency? And I'm going to show some pictures here so you can see the couple that I was able to find. But there's more than just two. Many people have come out and said that this is happening to them, that they've gotten a message from him. Pause if you want to read the whole thing, but here are two of the examples of him messaging people on OnlyFans that I could find. And basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to find women who are successful on their own. He's trying to con them into signing up to his agency, which he's even telling them there's no contract, which I don't know why he thinks that makes you look good. A contract protects not only him, but them as well. So saying there's no contract and you can leave anytime, it makes you look even worse. I don't know why he thought that would work. But basically, what he's trying to do is the Andrew Tate trafficking stick, you know, where you just find these women who are already making money. You sign them up so that basically you're their like manager or whatever. You say you're going to do something for them, but you actually don't offer anything in return, and then you just get to skim a bunch of their money off of them and you don't have to do anything. It's basically just leeching off the success of these women. And a lot of them are so much smarter than he gives them credit for. Like, I don't know why he thinks women are just so dumb that they'll be just like, yeah, I'll sign up for your agency. I don't have one. Yeah, let me give you a bunch of my money for nothing. That sounds great. Let's do it. They're not dumb, obviously. And so when they said, no, I'm not signing up with you. You are, when I search your name, you're a known scammer. Of course not. He reacts kind of weird. Like, his response to the one and like trying to convince her was pretty crazy. I cannot believe that he's doing this. He must really be down bad to be resorting to this scummy of a thing. Like, yes, the scams were always pretty scummy, but like, this is bottom of the barrel. He must be so desperate for money that this is the only thing he can think of. Let me find a successful woman and just leech off of her, because he no longer has a wife now. I'm sure they were already talking about them wanting to get a divorce before any of this was happening with the actual announcement. And so he was just finding any way he could, like, maybe it's because of the money, maybe the foreclosure situation has something to do with why they're getting a divorce. Just the fact that they mismanage money so badly. They try to portray being these rich people, yet they are constantly doing things that make it seem like they have no money. So which is it? Are you rich or are you poor? Because it doesn't really seem like you can be both, right? That doesn't seem right, man. He's got to stay out of the DMs. I can't believe he's doing that. I mean, on top of all the other scandals of him, like, cheating on her and sliding into girls' DMs and stuff, like, I just can't believe that he thought that these women would sign up with him. And I really hope that no one has agreed to sign up with him, because he is not going to do anything for you. I think the only thing he is actually offering is to run their social media for them, like to post things for them, reply to the OnlyFans, like the people that are fans of these OnlyFans models, to reply to the men so that the women don't have to do it. You don't really need that. You can do that yourself, and you're giving away so much money to them to do that for you. it's not worth it. It's just better to keep it to yourself. You do not need to sign up with these people. These agencies are not going to do anything for you. It's like that in every part of online, and like YouTube, OnlyFans, any of it. You do not need an agency to do anything. You can do this stuff yourself. I still can't believe he did that. When I found that out last week, it blew me away. I was like, oh my God, he's really doing the Andrew Tate special. I can't believe he's that desperate, but yeah, so I guess we'll see where it goes from here. He's living in an RV now, and he is posting some really unhinged things. So this was my best take on everything, from the scams to what's happening right now. I'm going to keep my eye on this in case he does any more really weird stuff. I'll make another video updating anything that happens after this point, because I'm sure there's going to be something. I mean, they technically, when someone looked it up in the state records, they have not actually filed for a divorce yet. So that's another thing that makes it seem like maybe this is all fake. And if it is, I will definitely update you guys on what we find out. But like I said, I'll be keeping my eye on this going forward. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Again, if you really liked what I made here, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe to my channel. I have more things in the works in regards to commentary. So if you liked this, there will be more to come. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.